12号王鹏、8号赵汝亮、5号刘宏伟、2号杨子成、13号。抽签仪式到此结束，稍后公布运动员比赛场地。
下面公布运动员的比赛场地：1号台李克、石天琪，3号台赵建波、刘宏伟，5号台邱胖谋、王云，7号台居热提、曹宇鹏，9号台陈小玉、蒋之茂，11号台戴勇、赵延浩，13号台崔明军、马良，15号台梁时瑜、徐天伟，17号台牛壮、王鹏，19号台朱龙、管正，21号台秦立文、李义南，23号台李海松、孔德金，25号台潘蓝天、杨子成，27号台于海涛、李岩 ，TV 2号台楚炳杰、于乐毅 ，TV 1号台何文冲、赵如亮。请参赛选手抓紧时间进入比赛场地检录。1号台李克、史天琪，3号台赵建波、刘宏伟，5号台邱胖谋、王云，7号台居热提、曹宇鹏，9号台陈小玉、蒋之茂，11号台戴勇、赵延浩，13号台崔明军、马良，15号台梁时瑜、徐天伟，17号台牛壮、王鹏，19号台朱龙、管正，21号台秦立文、李一南，23号台李海松、孔德金，25号台潘蓝天、杨子成，27号台于海涛、李克 ，TV 2号台楚炳杰、于乐毅 ，TV 1号台何文冲、赵如亮。27号台于海涛、李岩。
在比赛开始之前，提醒一下场内所有人员，请将您的手机调至为静音或关闭状态。比赛中，请保持赛场安静，场地内禁止吸烟。拍照请关闭闪光灯，谢谢合作。比赛不允许免球，不允许弃权，免球、弃权将被视为违反体育精神的行为，会受到组委会的处罚。欢迎大家来到。欢迎大家来到第4届怀化市旅游发展大会暨 LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中18球大师赛芷江站的比赛现场。接下来将要进行的是第4阶段单败第1轮1至16场的比赛。下面为大家介绍本场比赛出场的裁判员及运动员。1号台裁判员宋明明，运动员李克、史天琪。3号台裁判员耿思林，运动员赵建波、刘宏伟。5号台裁判员张月秋，运动员邱炮谋、王云。7号台裁判员冯雅琪，运动员居热提、曹宇鹏。9号台裁判员张娜，运动员陈小玉、蒋志茂。11号台裁判员杨俊奇，运动员戴勇、赵延浩。13号台裁判员杜立新，运动员崔明军、马良。15号台裁判员田海林，运动员梁时宇、徐天伟。17号台裁判员徐景言，运动员牛壮、王鹏。19号台裁判员张路遥，运动员朱龙、管振。21号台裁判员杨嘉宁，运动员秦立文、李义南。23号台裁判员吕阳，运动员李海松、孔德京。25号台裁判员柴新峰，运动员潘蓝天、杨子成。27号台裁判员傅东平，运动员于海涛、李岩。TV2号台裁判员玉林，运动员楚炳杰、于乐义。TV1号台裁判员张毅，记录裁判员孙然、袁义群，运动员何文冲、赵汝亮。现在比赛开始。
可以选。
Good day, everyone, and welcome back as we see Zhao Ruliang with almost a perfect leg, making sure that he'll be the one breaking first in this race to 15, last 32 single elimination round. As you can see, 32 down to 16. It's a straight knockout now right to the final, and we are here at the 2025 Joy Zhijiang station in China. This is the Division 1 tour coming to an end in the next few days. It does end on the 17th of September, with the Super Tour starting on the 18th, as well as the Champion of Champions in Brisbane also starting on the 18th. So champions from all over the world at the moment flying through to Brisbane to take part in that prestigious event. 38 joy tables, the Q8 golden leg tables, the same one you see here, with Lieberwin 8848 cloth as well, and aromat balls. And after the tournament, those tables are for sale as well. So if you are in Australia and interested in purchasing a few of these beautiful tables, please do reach out to the World Heyball Tour page and Doris Cheng as well. And you can make sure that you secure one of these Joy Q8 tables. I do know that the Joy staff has touched down in Australia and are busy setting up exhibition center in Brisbane for that event. It will be all live on wpalive.tv as well as our Joy Facebook and YouTube page. Back to the action on main TV table. Day 9 now, stage 4 underway. And it will be a redraw before each round in this last 32, as it was with stage 3 as well. On the table at the moment, Zhao Ruliang, one of the most consistent players in China at the moment, student of Yang Fan, very well known in this game. And he did take a loss yesterday in stage 3, so stage 3 was double elimination, luckily for him, so he had to play this morning again. Won the match this morning to qualify into this last 32. But if you lose now, you are out of this tournament. And something that I did pick up being at this tournament is you see mostly the Chinese players just coming off a 4-hour or 5-hour match and straight onto the practice tables here at the venue. You can understand when a player loses, they might want to go practice a few shots, but even after winning, still spending another 2 or 3 hours on the practice table after their matches. I know he was here quite late last night after that loss on the practice tables in the venue, and yeah, he smashed into that 14, not going in. It just means that he hasn't found his rhythm yet in this match. Yeah, it was a bit of a tough ask to get that off the 5. You had to be hitting that really thick to get to the 5, but his opponent, He Weng Chong, at the table, playing solids. This is now a race to 15 in this last 32 stage of this tournament. Comes a race to 17 tomorrow, and I believe the final will be a race to 19. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, last 8 becomes a race to 17, semi-finals race to 17 as well. And the finals on the 17th of September will be a race to 19. And this is winner break format with no time limit on the matches. Nice nudge on the 5 to make it possible for the center, run through for the 7. what you will notice with these players that cue ball will be cleaned a few times every frame, and just making sure they get no unwanted kicks. I mean, this game and this table and these shots are tough enough as it is. You don't want to be fighting other exterior factors creeping in while you are trying to make a clearance. And it looks like Wang Chong is going to draw first blood in this match. And this is a clearance off Zhao Ruliang's break, first visit to the table. And it's there. That is a rack and run for him. So even though Zhao Ruliang was at the table, it still counts as a rack and run for the opponent. If you do make a clearance at your first visit to the table off your opponent's break, it counts as a rack and run in your favor. And these statistics are recorded. They are all on Joy's pages. You can actually have a look at each player's statistics, their break and run, rack and run rate, and how well they've done in previous tournaments. Yeah, that looks more like the Chu Bingxie break rather than the full 100% power break that we have seen the Chinese players doing. Very controlled. Look at the cue ball staying right in the middle of the table. Really good hit on that pack. Referee calling 10 seconds, player taking his extension. Players have a 30-second extension per frame and 45 seconds per shot. Unwanted. That's an unwanted kiss on the 5. The recovery is still the 4 onto the 3. If he chooses, that's if he can't get through to the 3 straight. Yeah, well, he decided that the recovery was the 1 onto the 3 to leave the 4 in the center. 4 was a good connector for the black ball, however, that 1 now at the bottom of the pack, it's the only ball on this side of the table. It's also not a ball that you want to land low on. You don't want to be going into the 9 and black ball. You can see where he pointed his cue. Wants to stay high on the 1 to get the cue ball back out into open play. Yeah, that's almost perfect. And how easy does he make this game look? Ran out of position after the first shot. Good recovery on the 1. Able to then get down for the 1 nicely. And that's a break and run for Wang Chong. Score currently 2-0, and Zhao Ruliang just having one visit at the table, that one miss costing him 2 frames already, and in this winner break format, it can cost him a lot more. There you see it, 1 break and run, 1 rack and run for He Wing Chong.
第3局，何文忠开球。
Yeah, this time that break not working. The 4 tracking towards that left center pocket. Just the 4 and the 12. Have a look at that, just below center pocket jaw. So as you can see, although it is a winner's break format, it is really tough to run a 3 or 4 pack in a row. The only players we see doing that, Chu Bingjies, on occasion Phonman Kyo as well from Myanmar. But if we have to talk about break and finishes, Shi Tianqi from China leading 8-0 over Chu Bingjie last night. 5 break and finishes, 1 rack and run. And Chu Bingjie was able to make his way back 8-2, 8-4, 8-6. She then pulled away again 10-6, and eventually Chu Bingjie winning that match 13-11 to come back from 8-0 down in a race to 13. You really can't imagine what that takes. Yeah, you saw him just taking a few seconds extra on the previous shot just to figure out his pattern and his route on this end of the table. It's not only navigating the stripes, navigating through the solids and for the black ball.
10秒，延时。
Takes his extension now. And these last few stripes can be slightly tricky. 15 blocked to the bottom right by the 10. So either remove the 10 first or play the 15 to the bottom left. 12 goes into the center. Black ball as well. So he's played to run into the 10. I think he wanted a slightly fuller contact on the 15 to the center now. Got 2 options, play onto the right side cushion to hold the cue ball for the 10 or stun it through the gap and up for the 12. Yeah, that's precision stuff from Zhao Ruliang. He's got quite a large area to play into, just needs the gap between 1 and 6 to be able to play onto the 10. And that black ball now open to both center pockets, as well as to the same pocket the 10's going into, but I'm sure you'll want to play it in one of the center pockets. Needs to pass the 6. Yeah, that's the kind of shot you'd rather over cue than under cue. Always, you have to overhit that slightly. You underhit that, you're behind the 6, and Zhao Ruliang gets his first point on the scoreboard with a rack and run of his own.
一线赛事指定台迷丁俊晖、奥沙利文、郑宇博、楚秉杰等不例外一线球星代言。利百文，中国台迷领导品牌。
So far, 3 frames played, score 2-1 to He Wenchong against Zhao Ruliang, and 3 clearances, 1 break and run, 1 rack and run for Wenchong, and 1 rack and run for Zhao Ruliang.
第4局，赵汝亮开球。
BK Rush, Predator break cue being used. It's the same cue that Chu Bingjie uses as well. It's the same break. It's the same break. Yeah, it's just a solid hit on that first ball. I would say that's about medium pace. Maybe 60% of breaking pace into that first ball, and look at the split. Not 1 ball on the cushion, making the 4 ball into the center. And the first player to actually use that break was Sun Yuan in the Baotou station. And he had so much success with that break that Chu Bingjie actually copied him, taking that break from him and using it against him in the final of that Baotou station about 2 months ago. If you guys don't remember Sun Yuan, he was the player that came from the losers bracket in that Super Tour station event right into the finals against Chu Bingjie, and ending up runner-up in that tournament. So 3 frames played, 3 clearances. Can we see another from Zhao Ruliang? And we've come to the part of the tournament now where you see these players making this game look so simple. Unbelievable how simple he makes it look. But you can't begin to imagine the hours that go into practicing and training and working on yourself to make this game look that simple. It's almost impossible to comprehend. And Zhao Ruliang equalizes the score at 2-all with a break and run of his own. So 1 break and run each, 1 rack and run each, 4 frames played, 4 clearances.
第5局，赵如亮开球。
And that break is working. Let's have a look at that 6 ball on its way to the center pocket. Looks like 13 also in the right center pocket. Yeah, the 6 and the 13 tracking straight to the pocket. Let's have a look at the spread. Small cluster of solids at the bottom end of the table. We have a cluster around the black ball as well, so it's not as good as the previous break. He's taken his extension already. Oh, he's got that really thick. And that is another unforced error from Zhao Ruliang. 2 misses so far in this match. And so far he's been able to recover from the first miss. Being 2-0 down, he's able to make it 2-all. Slow open table, so will this second miss cost him another frame or 2? It's going very close to the center pocket. Stays on the table. Has he landed on the 14? I think that actually might be his only option. Doesn't look like he can get through to the 9. It's not a cutback you want to take on the 10. Yeah, the 14 has to go. And now he's on the 10. 15 also open from that side of the table. So it looks like he's off and running again. Yeah, he's going to leave the 15 for last. As long as the cue ball stays on the side of the table, no problem at all. Having his stripes here does help. It's close to his work. So off 1 cushion into the angle of the 15. And look at how he's played that. How tentative would most players play that ball? Just like worried that they might come too close to the 15 or into the 15. Literally brought the cue ball within 10 centimeters of that 15. How well do you have to know the cushions and be able to control your power to play a shot like that? That's there. That's another rack and run for He Wenchong
何文聪胜，比分
as
3
he
比2。
takes his third point, leading 3 frames to 2 over Zhao Ruliang in this race to 15. I feel you really see a good fight in these single elimination stages of this tournament because there is no second chance. It's now or never. You lose, you're out of the tournament. You win, you through to the last 16. Race to 15, it does give players a chance to get into the game or get back into the game if they had a slow start. It's not as long as 21 or 23, but definitely longer and better than a 7 or 9.
6局，何文聪开球。
And if I have to say, the player who currently is a bit more switched on is He Wenchong at the table. Hasn't missed a ball yet. 3 visits, 3 clearances. He raises the hand, that 5 going in. That's not the plan. It's not meant to go in off 2 or 3 cushions. Have a look at the 5. 1, 2, 3, and into the center. And how many times would you see a hand raised on the break playing pool at your local club? Never is the answer. But at this level and with these players, everything is calculated. Everything is purposeful. So even the break, those balls in the center, straight into the center are the balls that are supposed to go in. If they put any other ball in the break, the hand goes up. Yeah, the 12 does go into the center pocket. So choosing against taking the 10, the only ball on the side of the table. So does he feel he can clear up on the top of the table, take the 12-second last, play on the 10, and then 10 for the black ball into the top right corner? And what you'll notice is, comes behind the shot every single time where he wants the cue ball. Has a look at the potting angle. Yeah, absolutely drill that in, and when he gets the break right, you can see his finishing abilities as well. As he takes his 4th point, another break and run for He Wenchong. So that's 2 break and runs, 2 rack and runs for him. 1 break and run, 1 rack and run for Zhao
赤橙
Ruliang.
黄绿青蓝紫，青春就不该被简单的定义，打破常规，不被定义。小麦皮头独角兽系列快乐上市。
第7局，何文聪开球。
Such a dangerous player when he gets the break right. 6 frames played, 6 clearances. These two players really putting on a show for us. He's made the 11 in the center. Black ball getting kicked towards the center by the 2. Yeah, but it's bounced enough so it is potable into the center. The 7 rolling past the 9. Yeah, and if he was thinking of taking stripes, the 7 rolling past the 9 settles it immediately. And at the moment, statistics in this match after 6 frames, 100% pot percentage for He Wing Chong at the table. And 2 missed balls from Zhao Ruliang. And it's cost him, the first missed ball cost him 2 frames, going 2-0 down. He was able to come back 2-2 and then missed another, I would say, tough cut back to the top right. And that's already cost him another 2 frames. Going into the 9, leaving absolutely nothing to chance, is He Wing Chong. He got the pocket slightly thick, otherwise he would have been a little better on the 1 to the center, but it's okay. Yeah, no problem at all. Black ball outside the center pocket means he just has to pot the 3. He should get natural position on this. He's just worried about running past the stripe. That's a slight issue. If he does overrun this, he is coming behind the 12 ball. Yeah, just watch out for the cue ball. That's what I was talking about. It needs to run. That's exactly what I was talking about. Coming up very close behind that 12 ball on the way up for the black ball. And that is another break and run for He Wing Chong. 2 break and runs in a row now, as he leads 5 frames to 2. 7 frames played, 7 clearances. And so far, perfection from He Wing Chong in this match. There we go, 3 break and runs, 2 rack and runs, 2 consecutive break and runs. And that's the streak he's on at the moment. Seems to have found the sweet spot in his break.
第8局，何文忠开球。
Although he's made a few balls on the break, it didn't seem like he hit that as well as he usually does. Yeah, cue ball straight off to the side, but look at that. 3 balls into that left center pocket, the 1, 9, and 5. No matter how good you are, if you are sat in that chair, there's nothing you can do about it. We have seen the comments before on the streams about the winner break format being unfair and such, but if you play this game, you'd know how tough it is to run 3 or 4 packs off a triangle rack. It is so tough to get that break perfect every single time. Just the hours alone that went into practicing that break and getting it perfect. I feel the player that is breaking that well and then can make the clearances, it's fair to them. There's a reason that you only see players running 4 or 5 packs when we get into the last 32 or last 16. And that's because these are the players who put in the most amount of work in this game. Yeah, and this is looking like another one. This is looking like 6-2. And after this frame, we will have a 5 to 10 minute player break. Only been playing for just under 40 minutes. But it's been clearance after clearance, and this is another one. This will be his 4th break and run, 3 in a row for her, Weng Chong, as he continues extending his lead now 6 frames to 2 as we go into the break. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes.
乔氏金腿比赛专用，提醒您，精彩比赛马上开始。一线赛事指定台名：丁俊晖、奥沙利文、郑宇博、楚秉杰等国内外一线球星代言。利百文，中国台泥领导品牌。
方寸间雕刻，毫厘间相见。成木质之美，雕琢洞天，与腾龙之势，巧思匠心，以点线面，以小现大，无蜘蛛匠心之作。
河北省天一集团创立于2013年，注册资金500万，员工230余名，有着10余年的生产经验及研发设计、生产销售于一体的大型生产企业。优秀的员工、先进的技术、精良的设备，严格的管理使公司得以不断的发展壮大。精确、可靠、专业是我们生产的精神和服务信念。
天一沙发让舒适无处不在。
园有枳兮，篱有兰，这里生态优美，山清水秀，五水河畔，光影四射，它是那么的灵动和风雅。芷江是侗族人民自治县，是一座被少数民族侗乡文化所萦绕的魅力之城。湖南省100名最美扶贫人物，唯厨酒庄董事长吴如女士，在2001年激情焕发，投资农业，扎根芷江。经过多年耕耘，刺葡萄种植基地连绵有5万多亩。他带领当地村民把优质的刺葡萄打造成了集种植、生产、加工、观光于一体的农旅典范，助力富民产业与全域旅游、生态建设、乡村振兴深度融合。行走在酒庄，可见东南亚风格的酒吧，配套齐全的露营基地，风格迥异的美食餐厅，小资情调的千金民宿，典雅精致的侗族演艺大厅，1000个春天， 更有气势恢宏的侗家鼓楼巨福楼，楼高30多米，巨福楼广场可同时容纳1万名游客。荷花满园的田园，一花一世界，一步一风景，宛若世外桃源。维楚酒庄非物质文化收藏馆陈列了侗家织布机等非物质文化物件。漫步在幽静和散发着清香的刺葡萄园中，畅享丰收的喜悦，让你心旷神怡。走进酒庄地下酒窖，扑面而来的葡萄酒香味儿，让你仿佛沐浴在温馨浪漫的红酒文化之中。维楚酒庄的建设始终以世界的眼光、国际的标准，以宾客为尊的理念，高标准、高质量建成了中国最美侗乡酒庄，同时酿造出了品质一流的红酒。近2年来，酒庄开展了采摘节、小丑节、亚伦蒂尼飞虎 P40潮流音乐节，以及怀化味道第7届高山刺葡萄节等丰富多彩的主题活动。期间，人声鼎沸，好评如潮。维楚酒庄还倾力打造了大型文旅实景演绎《侗情芷江》，以浓郁的侗乡文化大餐惊艳呈现。维楚酒庄的美食自成体系，有精、美、情、礼的特色，科学布局业态，全力做好文旅加电商加乡村振兴，着力打造网红打卡之地，形成了3农服务的文旅 IP。感受侗族风情，品尝红酒和美食，沉浸于载歌载舞之中，尽情享受红酒与艺术碰撞的文化盛宴，享受诗酒远方的美好愿景。维楚有酒，于斯为醉。中国最美侗乡酒庄，欢迎您！
我是代言人赵卫国，星星暴走，年轻自由。
我是代言人雨龙海，星星暴走，年轻自由。
我是代言人楚秉杰，星星暴走，年轻自由。
I was born in Louisiana. My mama told my papa our little boy has got the blues. You better watch what you do to me. Watch what you do to me.
And we are back after that player break. And if you are just joining us, welcome to the 2025 Joy Zhijiang station here in China. This is the Division 1 Tour open draw where the best Chinese players in the world are playing in the same draw as the best international players from the get-go. 704 players started this tournament, now down to 32. Stage 4 single elimination. After this round, we'll have just 64 players left, 16 players left, and this tournament concluding on the 17th. And on the TV table at the moment, He Weng Chong currently 6-2 up against Zhao Ruliang in this race to 15. And so far, 8 frames played, 8 clearances, 6 of them from the man at the table. Now 4 break and runs, 2 rack and runs, has not missed a pot. Zhao Ruliang missing 2 balls in this match. First one costing him 2 frames, and the second miss now costing him 4 frames. He Wing Chong at the table, currently running a 3-pack on 3 consecutive break and runs. Solids in play. He wasn't too happy with the layout when he first looked at it. Now, has that worked out in his favor? If the black ball passes into the bottom left, it definitely has, because he's just made a little bit more space for himself. Yeah, you can see the black ball does go, so that's why he's played on the 6. 6-4-2 black ball into the bottom left corner pocket. And he's going again. This tournament concluding on the 17th. We have the Super Tour starting on the 18th. Super Tour is a closed draw. International players drawn separately to the Chinese mainland players, just like the Grandmasters. And at the same time, from the 18th to the 21st, we have the Champion of Champions in Brisbane, Australia. 38 Joy Q8 tables for that event. 64 of the best men and 64 of the best women from around the world will be competing in that event. Champions from their respective countries by invitation only. Yeah, what a brilliant shot that is. Made that look much easier than that actually is. Playing that from that distance with the rest. Add to that, he's playing around 7 o'clock on the cue ball. There is a new machine in town. And this black ball for 7-2, and his 4th break and run in a row, 5th break and run in this match. And it's there, no doubt at all. 7 points, 7 clearances, 5 break and runs, 2 rack and runs, and has not missed a ball yet. So the last time Zhao Ruliang touched the table, the score was 2-all, so he's been sat in that chair now for 5 frames. And this is a race to 15, so He Wing Chong almost halfway there. And not giving his opponent a chance to even come to the table. And there you see it at the bottom, 4 consecutive break and runs. I think in the previous tournaments, the most we've seen, I think it was 6 break and runs in a row from Chu Bingxie. Absolutely rock solid is this man at the table now. Cue ball. And that's the only thing that can stop him. Made a ball on the break, but have a look at the cue ball getting kicked. Got kicked twice into that top right corner pocket. And after being seated for 5 frames, Zhao Ruliang is at the table, ball in hand behind the balk line, has to play forward. Having a look at the table, it's definitely solids that you have to go for. I would say that purely based on where the 9 is.
10秒。延时。
Taking his extension already. Solids in play for Zhao Ruliang. And the only way he can catch up now is if he can get this frame on the board and then start making a few consecutive break and runs of his own. Black ball does look like it passes into the right center pocket, and that would mean 2 ball as his last ball. Yeah, it would be nice to be out of his chair for the first time in 5 frames. Yeah, the black ball must pass. And that being said, he's actually lucky he didn't go into the 13 coming past it. Getting the cue ball clean before playing that black ball. And this black ball for another rack and run for him. It's their 3rd point on the scoreboard for Zhao Ruliang, and that's his 2nd rack and run. And so far, perfect match. We've had a perfect match thus far. 10 frames played, 10 clearances. Now I feel with the way that He Wing Chong has been breaking, the only way Zhao Ruliang gets back into this match is if he can run a few break and runs in a row. It's the only way, 2 or 3 at least, to get back into this match.
11，赵汝亮开球。
Because even in the previous break, He Wing Chong did pot a ball. Just unfortunate that the cue ball went in. Made the 5 ball into the top left corner pocket. We'll see a replay of that. 5 ball goes off the bottom cushion and straight through the entire pack. The problem at the moment is first shot. Only ball I see potable easily enough is the 2 ball, and that puts him on solids. Now look at the work you have to do on solids at the bottom of the table. The 7 doesn't go into either corner pocket. Black ball as well, blocked by the stripe. Going to be interesting to see his route around the table here. cannot afford to miss a ball, Zhao Ruliang. Yeah, cue ball control at the moment, absolutely perfect from him, giving himself options with every single shot he plays. The black ball also at the moment not available into both corner pockets on this end of the table. I think he wanted to pass the black ball and come off the cushion to play the 7 into the center. However, the black ball does pass now into the bottom left. That wasn't the intended pocket, but it does go. Referee calling 10 seconds. I think he's already used his extension in the frame. And now fully committed to this clearance. If he does miss or if he can't make the clearance at a numerical disadvantage, having less balls on the table, I don't see any way for him to win the frame if he doesn't make this clearance now. Now have a look at that for a shot, landing perfectly to the center pocket. And now it's all about that black ball. Had the angle to get onto the side of the black ball. So if it doesn't go, will Stripes be able to make the clearance? It's tough. It's really tough if the black ball hangs, but do see him as a favorite to pot this into this corner pocket. It looks good. It's there. It's there. What a clearance that is. One of the best clearances we have seen on the TV table from Zhao Ruliang as he takes his second break and run, 4th point of this match, now trailing 7 frames to 4. Yeah, that was top tier. That was not easy at all. Solids were very difficult. The black ball as well, all obstructed at the bottom of the table. Definitely one of the best constructed break-in finishes we have seen. And that shows you what Zhao Ruliang can do back against the wall from 7-2 down, making it 7-4. And it looks like he is on his way back.
第12局，赵如亮开球。
That looks dry. That's a dry break, was not able to take that opportunity and run a few packs. So that will bring Wen Chong to the table. He's been sat in that chair for just 2 frames. So would be eager to get back. Oh, for a moment that looked like that was not going in, but he's got it, and now it's about that 10 ball at the bottom of the table. Does it pass the 4 into that bottom left? Might feel like he can go into that from the 14 as well. Worst case scenario should be on the 12 if it goes wrong. Yeah, the way he's hit that 10, almost full in the face, he was always going to be parking behind the black ball. That was the problem. If he'd glanced it, he should have been on the 12. And now, I think the only ball that he has potable is the 9 to the top. Yeah, this is tough. You have to drill this in off 1, 2, 3 cushions. Or he goes the other route of 1, 2, the left side of the table, coming close to the 7. And he should be out for the 12 into the center. Yeah, he's hit that with a bit of stun in that stroke, and that's why the cue ball's gone so close to that corner pocket. Expected to hit that rail much earlier and actually come around for the 12, and as you can see, the 12 does pot. It's not the intended pocket, but that's the only shot he has on the table, so back against the wall for Weng Chong now. He's committed to this clearance. Oh my word. Oh my word. And once again, not getting the perfect position. That was one of the best pots I've seen. Now, do we count that as a missed ball? I think we count that as a positional error, but we can't count that as a missed pot for Weng Chong. Still have to give him 100% pot success rate on the pots that he's attempted. And this is off Zhao Ruliang's dry break, which means this is the first frame in this match where we won't see a clearance. Zhao Ruliang playing containing safety shot. Getting that one into open play and not giving his opponent a shot, as you can see. I think he is snookered on the full ball, but he wants to come off the top cushion. Look, if he leaves the 10 in that pocket, it will be a slight headache for Zhao Ruliang. I expect him to get close. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be very close, and it's in. Oh my word. I have no words for the player on the table currently. What an absolute machine. We've seen so many players struggle coming off the cushion, especially with these new tables. It's so difficult to judge. It's an art on its own. And the black ball doesn't go into the center, so this black ball for the top right corner pocket, and that we can count as a miss. So his first actual missed pot or pot attempt comes at 7-4 after making 7 clearances, 4 break and runs in a row. Wang Chong really putting on a show. So now in this case, you have to look at numerical advantage as well. 6 playing 1 player with more balls on the table should never lose the frame. If they are in a position where they don't have an easy shot, many opportunities to hide the cue ball. Becomes like a game of chess, having more pieces on the table. It's definitely in your favor. And that's why with this game, especially if you do commit to the clearance and you are already on your last 3 balls, you really have to be able to take that clearance on and run it out, because if your opponent comes back to the table, 7 balls still on the table and you just have 2, you are in real trouble. So does he go into the 7 or does he park the cue ball behind it and then play the 3 next? He's parking, a little bounce. Well played. And surely now Zhao Ruliang will get his 5th point on the scoreboard from 7-2 down. Sitting for 5 frames now, 7-5. That is a good frame to win for Zhao Ruliang.
3局，赵汝亮开球。
So score 7-5 in favor of He Wing Chong in this race to 15, last 32 playoff. And that looks like a dry break. It is. So 12 frames played so far. This is the 13th frame, and it took that long for us to see our first slightly scrappy frame where each player had multiple visits at the table. It's our first frame that didn't have an outright clearance, the previous frame, but a good frame to win for Zhao Ruliang. And it looks like his breaks are letting him down slightly. 7-5 down, playing against an opponent who is breaking well, who has the ability to run 4 racks in a row. So factor that into the scoreline at the moment. If he runs this and runs another 4, before you know it, scores 12-5 in this race to 15, and at that point in time, it's a very, very tough road back. Yeah, he's just kicking off where he stopped in the frame before the previous one. On a roll once again. It's just the 6 and the 10 that I see as a problem, but having those 3 stripes on this side of the table means that he has multiple opportunities to get into that. He doesn't want that to fall. So having that 9 there means it's much easier to get into the 15 and 6, the 10 and the 6, but yeah, that's worked out well. You don't want a full ball kiss on the 10 and you are stuck behind with no shot. So at the moment, just everything working out for him, and that's not down to luck. Absolute machine of a player is this young man, He Wing Chong. Unbelievable. And this will be another rack and run of Zhao Ruliang's dry break. Eight point on the scoreboard as he leads 8 frames to 5 over Zhao Ruliang in this race to 15. So far, 5 break and runs, 3 rack and runs for He Wing Chong, 2 rack and runs, 2 break and runs for Zhao Ruliang. Winner of this match goes through to the last 16, and loser is eliminated from this tournament. We are in stage 4, single elimination phase of the tournament. So it goes quite quick now. By the end of today, we're down to 16, and by the end of tomorrow, we have just 4 players left. This tournament concluding on the 17th of September, and the Super Tour starting on the 18th, as well as the Champion of Champions Joy and WPA event in Brisbane, Australia from the 18th to the 21st. Yeah, and with the schedule being what it is for these top players, they have so many tournaments that they are attending around the world, and that's why you might not see a few of the players you know at this tournament. But we do have the Super Tour coming in on the 18th, and that's the big one, that's the main one. It is a closed draw, international, separate to Chinese mainland players until the last 32. And that's where you'll see even more of the players you know in this tournament. The Division 1 Tour, this tournament on at the moment, is an open draw. Chinese mainland players mixed together with international players. It's looking at about 100, 150 international players, and the rest are all Chinese players, 704 players in total. And in the past 9 days, we've come from 704 down to 32 players.
10秒。5。
Speaking of the calendar, just talking about the Champion of Champions, that's on the 18th as well. So when the Super Tour starts, the Champion of Champions starts, so players like Arfan Dad, Jason Taron, Jordan Shepherd, Stephen Ellis, Shivam Arora, all invited to that tournament. And most of them will be playing in Australia in the Champions of Champions event won by Clint Ironson last year. Defending champion also has been invited to that tournament. The Joy staff on the ground in Brisbane, Australia, setting up for that event. 38 premium Q8 golden leg steel block Joy tables. And those tables will be for sale after the event as well. So if you are in Australia and you want to get your hands on one of these tables, contact Joy staff or the World Heyball Tour Facebook page directly, and we'll get back to you. Yesterday, Da Yong played Mick Hill on the TV table, and I said Da Yong looks like a good favorite to get into the last 8 of this tournament. The player on the table at the moment, to me, last 8, last 4, definitely, as he takes another break and run. That is his 9th point, leading 9 frames to 5 over Zhao Ruliang. And he just keeps going.
15局，何文崇开球。
Yeah, this player at the table now, He Wing Chong, showing us how dangerous the winner break format is. But I don't agree with the comments that say that it's unfair. You have to look at the work that goes into perfecting a break like that. As you see, the 6 straight into the center pocket. Looked like the 10 ball into the top right as well. Absolute perfectionist. One of the best breaks I've seen in the tournament thus far. Second only maybe to Chu Bingjie. But very similar as well. Not hitting the pack at full pace. Controlling the cue ball. Controlling the game. Yeah, he's in flow now. 9-5 up, race to 15. So far, 6 break-in runs under his belt. 6 break-in runs, 3 rack-in runs, 9 points, 9 clearances. Just 1 missed ball. Yeah, he just doesn't stop, does he? Absolutely ruthless. Has that cue ball absolutely on a string. It's the simplicity. When a player makes a game look that simple, unbelievable. That's another break and run for He Wing Chong. Takes his 10th point. 7 break and runs now. And that looks like that's another 2 in a row.
是乔氏中的乔氏，全国各地区球房的典范。一句全乔氏代表着球房档次、服务、口碑全部到位，有实力，全乔氏。
Yeah, there we have the stats come up. 7 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. Still that 4 consecutive streak that he had earlier. And now 10-5 up against Zhao Ruliang. We will have a player break after this frame, the 16th frame. This is a race to 15. Last 32, single elimination. And loser of this match is out of the tournament. Winner goes through to the last 16. And breaking from dead center on the balk line, straight head on into the pack. 2 balls in, not 1 ball on the cushion. So 16th rack underway. And we did see before the previous break he was on a 3-pack. And it looks like it might be going that way again. He makes this game look so simple. Now the black ball, does it pass into the bottom right pocket past the 13? We see his pattern already with the solids. It's all about how he lands on the 6. That's how we'll know where the black ball passes to. Your commentator for this match is Raymond Tilak from South Africa. I am the official commentator for all Joy events, Joy Heyball events internationally, and thank you guys for being on the stream. We really do appreciate it, and we do our best to check the comment section as well, especially on Facebook. We are also live on YouTube and WPAlive.tv. And as you can see, black ball passes in to the right center. That's 3 break-and runs in a row, 11-5. That brings us to a 10-minute player break. So we will be right back in about 5 to 10 minutes.
乔氏金腿比赛专用，提醒您，精彩比赛马上开始。
好球杆，最难的不是木料、设计和工艺，而是对运动的理解、对力学的研究和对运动者经验大数据的采集与处理。LP 以一颗匠心，超过30年的经验累积，全世界数百万使用者的反馈数据，懂球，懂力，更懂你。
俺老孙啥功名不要，只求回到这花果山中了，过过逍遥日子。
天耀球杆，化一切为可能。欧尚地毯，突破核心科技，从智能车间到高品质球房，重新定义标准，为每一个台球梦想铺好第一步。铺好毯，打好球，不掉毛，零干扰。
职业选手的第一选择，欧尚地毯，掉毛地毯终结者。
超级蓝钻皮头职业版，采用进口头层水牛皮，韧性好，弹性持久，颗颗精选，粒粒碾压，严格质检。世界职业球员必用的皮头，超级蓝钻，祝您夺冠！
罂粟胶边具有国内胶边很难做到的特点，罂粟胶边的硬度达到了45度，使反射角高度接近入射角。罂粟整条胶边误差小于20丝，因而各部位酷性一致。欢迎各品牌厂家使用罂粟胶边来提升台球桌的专业性能。好胶边罂粟皂，好胶边罂粟皂。
超级蓝钻皮头，黄金版、白金版，采用进口头层水牛皮，颗颗精选，严格质检，韧性好，弹性持久，世界职业球员必用的皮头，超级蓝钻，一专业， 缔造不凡。
方寸间雕刻，毫厘间相见。成木质之美，雕琢洞天，寓腾龙之势，巧思匠心，以点线面，以小现大，无蜘蛛匠心之作。
今天给大家推荐一款非常好的台泥 H153，是我自己用了1年多的台泥，汗毛量80%，手感特别细腻，走位很平稳。根据我自己用了1年多的这个台泥，这个 H153特别适合我们球房用，一些中小型比赛也特别适合它用。如果你的球房想用一款非常好的台泥，我推荐 H153。
H153走球更到位。
一线赛事指定台迷丁俊晖、奥沙利文、郑宇博、楚秉杰等不例外一线球星代言。利百文，中国台泥领导品牌。
And we are back after that player break. Score currently 11 frames to 5. 11 frames to 5 in favor of He Weng Chong. We have a new machine in town. Unbelievable. His break and run rate, potting success, just one missed ball in the entire session thus far. Currently on 8 break and runs, 3 rack and runs, and currently on 3 consecutive break and runs as well. How do you play against a player this good? So you're telling me that if I just break try once, I'll be sat in my chair for 4 or 5 frames. It's unbelievable. Zhao Ruliang missed a ball at 2-all. Well, he missed a ball at 0-0, went 2-0 down, made the score 2-all, missed a ball at 2-all, and sat for another 5 frames. Score was 7-2. Potting a ball and the break, and he's gone again. 16 frames played, 1 missed pot from He Weng Chong. 11 points on the board, 11 clearances. This is the best I've seen in this tournament thus far. 704 players started this tournament, now down to 32. And this is the highest quality that I've seen. Get even that for a shot off 2 cushions to get up into balk, and yeah, he's a bit close to the 2, but I mean that's almost perfect coming from that distance. 11-5 up, race to 15. Zhao Ruliang just not having a chance. The miss at 2-all costing him 5 frames. Dry break costing him another 4. Absolutely unbelievable standard from this young man. And this black ball now surely for his 12th point, 4th consecutive break and run, and 9th break and run in the match. That's there, he leads 12 frames to 5 over Zhao Ruliang. And what do you do? What do you do if you are Zhao Ruliang, sat in that chair? A miss costs you 4 frames, a dry break costs you another 4. I've commentated on a lot of high-profile Heyball events and Heyball finals, including the Masters, Grandmasters finals, but the level of play here from He Weng Chong is absolutely unbelievable. He is definitely a player to keep an eye on. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sun Yuan, who is also playing in this tournament, you'd remember him from the Baotou station about 2 months ago. Coming through that last 32 from the losers bracket, playing twice a day, having also a very high break and run rate. And he's the player who actually started that, I wouldn't call it a soft break, but it's not 100% power, it's about 70%. You're just queuing through the break. You're pretty much queuing it rather than hitting it wildly with 100% power. And he lost in the final to Xu Bingxie. But what a performance from him. And also coming through, the losers bracket is very tough. You are playing 2 matches a day for about 5 to 6 days straight, and 2 matches before the final as well. Not the case in this tournament though. The Division 1 Tour Stage 4 last 32 is single elimination draw. So 1 loss and you are out of the tournament. It's straight 32 down to the final. You know, a few years back we had players like Zheng Yeboah, and they were the standard for Heyball in the world. And now there are so many more Chinese players coming through. I mean, look at the quality from this young man. He has 12 points on the board, 12 finishes, 1 missed ball. It's hard enough to do that in a race to 5 or race to 7, but to keep that standard in a race to 15, I can guarantee you he can do that in a race to 21, race to 25. When you get to this level where the game is just so easy for you, you're pretty much on autopilot. I half expected him to go through the gap between 5 and 3, and this will be another break and run. 13-5 now for He Weng Chong over Zhao Ruliang. do believe that he is currently on 5 consecutive break-in runs. So far the score 13-5. 10 break-in runs, 3 rack-in runs, 5 consecutive break-in runs now for He Wing Chong. And he's made a ball in the center again. Oh, he's got the break down to a science. And anyone who's watched our streams before, you know how good Zhao Ruliang is. Student of the legendary Yang Fan. He is an amazing talent, amazing player, but all that doesn't matter when you are sat in that chair. Yes, he's missed 2 balls in the session. He's had 1 or 2 dry breaks, but look at that. If you're about to play a session and I tell you a dry break's going to cost you 5 frames, you will never believe it. And that being said, has he made a small mistake? He's potted the 1 in the center, taken solids, but from this angle, it doesn't look like he can't get to the 5. It's very tight to the 4 in the center. There we see the 4 in the center. He can swerve it, but I think jump cue is coming out.
10秒，延时。
Yeah, jumping towards the 4, so he has to jump this and cut this in, and it's there. This is unbelievable. And I think he's still on the 7. We have to see a replay of that. Yeah, the 7 looks like it goes. I think he just has the potting angle past the black ball for the 7 into the bottom left. And if this goes in, he's gone again. I'd have really liked to see a replay of that jump shot. To control that short distance jump like that, it's so tough. And this black ball for 14-5. He's on the hill. That is another break and run. So now 6 consecutive break and runs. There's the jump shot again. Look at the control to get the cue ball there and to keep the cue ball on the table. So currently we have not posted the live score links. We will get that posted as soon as we can on the WHT Facebook page, World Heyball Tour. We will have that there for you. 32 players left in the tournament, 16 after this round. On the TV table, He Wing Chong 14-5 up against Zhao Ruliang. Though you saw it's 6 consecutive break-in runs at the moment. And I think that is the most we have seen, at least on the TV table. So now, this break to finish off the match in style. Watch the center pockets. Oh, it's dry. It's dry. At 14-5, Zhao Ruliang comes back to the table. The only way is if he can get this frame on the board and start making 6+ break and runs in a row. That is the only way.
延时。
Have a look at this. He's going for the 5. Now tell me, 14-5 down, race to 15. How many players are going for that 5 ball? I can tell you so many players who'd go for the 14 easy pot and decide to just secure and take stripes on. Stripes are definitely more difficult, but you would let the moment get to you being 14-5 down, and you cannot afford a mistake. But these players, they not only train so well in potting ability and positional play and the break, of course, but to take the right shot on every time. It's not about what's the easiest shot, it's about what's the correct shot to play that'll make the rest of the frame easier. No matter the score, 14-0 down, even the same shot will be taken. 14 all, the same shot will be taken. And besides working on the potting and positional play, the training that takes, no matter the situation, no matter how you feel, you are taking on the correct shot, the logically correct shot, not emotionally correct shot. Off 2 cushions, landing on the 3. Yeah, nicely done. Quite an angle on that 6 to the center. And have a look at how much tougher the clearance would have been had he taken the 14 stripe. He'd have the 13, the 12 to deal with. Yes, there's the 11 at the bottom right. So the way these station events work, there are 2 tournaments in the station, 2 main event tournaments. The Division 1 Tour, which started 9 days ago, that is an open draw, Chinese players and international players playing together from round 1. That ends on the 17th of September, and on the 18th of September starts the Super Tour, which is the same as the Grand Masters Finals format, where international players play separately to the Chinese players until the last 32, stage 3 of the tournament. That begins on the 18th of September. And at the same time, we have the Champion of Champions in Australia taking part 18 to the 21st. So stay tuned to all our live platforms as well as WPAlive.tv, where we'll have all the action broadcasted live to you with commentary as well. Zhao Ruliang gets his 6 point on the board. That was a rack and run off his opponent's dry break. So Zhao Ruliang, 2 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. He Wengchong, I have to count that 1, 2, I think it's 11 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. Yeah, it's 11 break and runs, 3 rack and runs for He Wengchong, and there you see 6 consecutive. And this is a race to 15, so He Wengchong currently on the hill against Zhao Ruliang. And what a player to take out of the tournament. Zhao Ruliang is always a favorite in any of these tournaments. So the balls that are used for Heyball is American pool balls. This is the Aramuth Pro Cup American pool ball set. So if you've ever played 9-ball or watched 9-ball, it's the same balls. They are bigger than normal black ball pool or snooker balls, slightly bigger, slightly heavier. And then you have to factor in that these pockets are the same size almost as snooker pockets. So just a ball, or maybe ball and a quarter, ball and a half fit into these pockets, very tight indeed. So the cues have to be able to handle the weight of the balls as well. So you do get players playing with the snooker type cue, as He Weng Chong is using an LP snooker type cue, one piece made for Heyball though. So it's specifically made for this game. 10.2, 10.3 millimeter tip, usually with a titanium ferrule. And although you might think 10.2, 10.3 for American pool balls is thin, the way the cue is manufactured, it can handle the weight of the balls. And then other players like Zhao Ruliang prefer the 9-ball type cue, but also thin down to about 11.5, 11.75 from 13 mils. And that seems to be the best combination to play this game. And Zhao Ruliang forced to take on that 2-ball across table. So He Weng Chong comes back to the table, currently on the hill, 14-6 up. Yeah, so when the game of Heyball started, it was called Chinese pool. Many players, well, the international players searched for cues. Some used their snooker cues, some used 9-ball cues, but couldn't really get the right feel and the right equipment for the game, as you have to be so accurate and be able to move the cue ball on nap cloth as well. And then the cues started being manufactured in China, made by Heyball companies for the game of Heyball. So you can see it's a hybrid sport, so you need a hybrid cue, you need a new cue made for the sport. So even the 9-ball cues that the Chinese players use are not your normal makes. They are cues made in Asia or in China, like your LPs, Omen cue lees as well, and that is surprising. Second missed pot for He Weng Chong, but actually looking at the table now, I don't think he missed that pot. I think he played to leave that, because if you look at the layout on solids, there's no finish on, so we're not going to call that a missed pot. No.
10秒，延时。
Yeah, with the 9 being where it is, I don't think he went for the 14 as a pot. No chance. Too much of work to do. Rather give the table back to Zhao Ruliang. He doesn't have a finish on either. Let him do the work. If you look at the ball advantage, 1, 2, 3, 5 stripes on the table, 4 solid, so both players with equal opportunity. Yeah, I see some comments saying the miss was intentional, some saying he wanted to pot it. And looking at the table, it's a hard one to tell, because now he has to manufacture a way into the 7-9-3. And based on the way he's playing, I find it very difficult to believe that he missed a ball like that. But from there, he was able to get a good angle, and now look at the position he is on the 10. Has it opened up? It's definitely open to the top left, but is it open to the top right aerial view? Yes, it is. So let's agree that if he finishes this frame, the miss was intentional. And we'll keep his statistics on one missed ball for the entire match. He Weng Chong defeats Zhao Ruliang 15 frames to 6. Absolutely unbelievable. 11 break and runs, 3 rack and runs, 6 consecutive break and runs. Some of the highest standard we have ever seen on the TV table. And how can you not want to watch the rest of this tournament after seeing this man play like that? He's definitely a contender for winner of this tournament. So into the last 16 goes He Weng Chong. Zhao Ruliang out of the tournament. And we will have all the live action coming to you tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm your commentator for the Joy events, Raymond Tilak from South Africa, and we will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. local time in China for the action from the last 16. Take care.